Hello and welcome to our presentation today. This presentation is dedicated to the public, so if you're a practitioner and looking for practitioner-only webinars, please visit our YouTube channel dedicated to practitioners. You will find the link at the end of this presentation. So, my name is Olivier Sanchez, and I will be talking on the benefit of sunlight using the latest evidence-based peer-reviewed literature. If you would like to know more about me, please visit our website and you will be able to discover a lot more. So a bit about the sun, the largest planet in our solar system, which we rotate around, giving us different seasons throughout the year and plenty of opportunity to get some sunshine wherever we are in the world or vacationing. Throughout history, the sun has been revered and is central to mythology and religion in cultures around the world, including by ancient Egypt, the Americas, and China, amongst many others. The number of studies reporting on the association between sunlight exposure and vitamin D and cancer risk is steadily increasing. A systematic review revealed that almost all epidemiological studies suggest that chronic and not really intermittent sun exposure is associated with a reduced risk of colorectal, breast, and prostate cancer and non-Hodgkin lymphoma. The active role of sunlight on the body's circadian rhythm and the immunomodulating effect of vitamin D are some of the pathways involved in making sunlight a protective factor for some types of cancer. Melatonin, the sleep hormone, also displays powerful antioxidant activity during the night, and optimal secretion ensure the best quality of sleep. So when we think of summer, we think of longer days, warmth, more time outdoors and socializing, and eating a greater variety of fresh food, all of which is boosting our sense of well-being. Oppositely, seasonal affective disorder affects people during the darker, longer days of winter, but also due to our complete disconnection to nature and our environment, including social and chronic overexposure to stress. That's why symptoms usually and typically include fatigue, brain fog, digestive dysfunction, and more besides. So it is not surprising that sunlight is shown to improve mood and reduce the risk of mental disorders as well as depressive symptoms. And it also helps you be more productive because it increases your vitality. Therefore, sunlight has strong effects of mental health outcomes. So vitamin D, a lipid-soluble vitamin, also known as a sunshine vitamin, plays an important role in calcium and bone metabolism and also in maintaining bone integrity. Scientists have now linked the hormone-like vitamins to some disorders such as cardiovascular disease, cancer, because vitamin D also modulates self-growth and induces differentiation of immune cells. It is also involved in stroke and metabolic disorders, including diabetes. Low levels of vitamin D have also been linked to inflammatory disorders such as IBD, rheumatoid arthritis, and lupus. Cognitive impairment, dementia, autism, and depression have also now been linked with vitamin D deficiency. Vitamin D has neuroprotective effects, including the clearance of amyloid plaque, the hallmark of Alzheimer's disease. Furthermore, vitamin D has a direct impact on dopamine pathways and may be an ideal add-on to Parkinson's treatment. It is also important to note that during fetal development and early life, vitamin D plays a vital role in neuronal development and helps maintain cognitive function in older adults. Therefore, adequate levels of vitamin D are important in all stages of life and conception. Vitamin D deficiency has also been linked to neuroinflammation and loss of protective mechanisms. Because we have lost our place and our connection to nature, we are working against our body's innate wisdom with grave results, including dysfunctions of many pathways in the body, including low mood and poor cognition and skin and gut disorders. While aging is a natural part of life, up to 90% of the visible skin changes commonly attributed to aging are caused by overexposure to sunlight. Overexposure at the wrong time of the day and of the year. And even depending on your location, your skin may not capture enough sunlight, even during the summer months, and therefore may not produce sufficient level of vitamin D, and then leading to lower stores of vitamin D and subsequently to deficiency. Overexposure to sunlight may suppress the proper functioning of the body's immune system and impede the skin's natural defenses, including against cancerous cells. We know it, sunburns leads to DNA damage. Each year in the UK, more new cases of skin cancers are diagnosed than breast, prostate, lung, and colon cancers combined. 1 American dies from skin cancer every hour. But there is no uniformly accepted method for the evaluation of UVA protection, and many sunscreens do not deliver what the label promises and are usually referred to as suntan lotions. So also people applying high SPF lotion may be inclined to spend more time in the sun and so get sunburn. Dietary vitamin D, including vitamin D from exposure to sunlight, is biologically inactive until it is activated by enzymes in the liver and the kidneys. So vitamin D is often referred to as ergocalciferol or calciferol, which is vitamin D2, but the most active form of the vitamin is calcitriol or vitamin D3, and is circulating in the bloodstream as a hormone. On average, it takes 8 hours for UVB radiation to be fully converted to vitamin D3, and it takes a while longer before it is assimilated. This explains why vitamin D produced in the skin lasts 2 to 3 times longer in circulation when compared with ingesting it orally. Dietary vitamin D is incorporated into chylomicrons, which are formed by gut lining cells, and these require dietary fat for absorption. They are then transported into the lymphatic system and finally into the venous system, where only 60% is effectively bound to vitamin D binding protein. Vitamin D is naturally present in a few foods and is added to others, which are often called fortified foods, and is also available as a dietary supplement. Food sources include fatty fish, such as trout, salmon, sardine, and mackerel, and fish liver oils are among the best sources. Beef liver, egg yolk, and cheese have small amounts of vitamin D, but this is highly dependent on their diet. So conventional products may offer negligible levels. Mushrooms are an excellent source of vitamin D2. In the last few decades, we have been told to avoid exposing our skin to sunlight to reduce our risk of developing skin cancer. This particularly recent phenomenon seems to not correlate with our human history, whereas our forefathers, for hundreds of years, if not thousands, were spending most of their time outdoors with little piece of clothing and still had high vitality. It is only since greed became king that people abandoned rural villages to move to larger cities that we became more and more and more sedentary, working indoors, often in cubicles without window or fresh air, or spending more and more of our time under hormone-disrupting artificial light, being more and more stressed and eating worse and worse with every generation and new ultra-processed manufactured food products, making it to the junk aisles of every supermarkets of the world. Skin cancer is indeed a new phenomenon, but in the last 60 years or so, the rate of skin cancers has increased exponentially, directly correlating with the disproportionate expansion of conventional farming, the increased use of pesticides, new food processing method and refining and bleaching of our food, literally stripping all of nature's life-supporting nutrients. We also cook less. As a result, we are completely disconnected from nature, from food, and we are wondering what we are doing wrong when we couldn't care less about what we put at the end of our fork. So the answer was actually in a question. It is evident that the Industrial Revolution, a period when bigger is better, was all the rage, but also a huge step forward for mankind. It has also quickly become our downfall. So, following the First Great War and a fast-growing world population, the somewhat symbiotic relationship between man and nature broke. Large fields were now dedicated to growing seeds and producing oils, freely using pesticides on an industrial scale. No longer a slow, large, and heavy press was used, but instead a continuously fed, fully automatized channels, which meant that oils could be produced without ever stopping. In the same way, flour and other refined products are made for the powder obtained. It's easy to sieve and remove impurity from, including the bran, so that they are white, and a little bleach completes the trick. So back to the oil. And when you can see in the picture, this type of oil extraction generates heat, the worst enemy of oil molecules, producing a large number of aldehydes, including formaldehyde and ketones. And this is applicable to all types of oils, and extraction processes are very often similar. So during the refining process, naturally occurring antioxidants are either removed or destroyed and are replaced by synthetic ones to re-stabilize the oils and extend the shelf life. Taste is also removed to sell tasteless oils that new generation now expect because they have not grown accustomed to cold-pressed, delicious and nutritious oils. And this is why flax or linseed oil mostly vanished after the Second World War, because it is extremely fragile and spoils very quickly, and therefore was dropped for more stable, less nutritious oils, which are now called industrial oil, and now you understand why. And this is also in this manner that omega-6 fatty acid-rich oils made it to our kitchen cupboard and into our plates. So toxic edible oils have become contaminated with pesticide residues that interfere with nerve functions and oxidation processes, and therefore lower our vitality. The invention of chemical extraction introduced gasoline-like chemical solvents like hexane and heptane into our oil. These are lung irritants and nerve depressants. This is what Erasmus writes in his book, Fats That Heals and Fat That Kill. He makes another important point. Refined oils cannot be properly digested and metabolized. They rob our body of its stores of minerals and vitamins, and they lead to a deficiency of essential nutrients and fatty degeneration. In 1900, death from cardiovascular disease accounted for only 15% of death of all causes. Today, it kills 44%. Cancer in 1900 killed 3% of the population. Today, it kills 23% of it. This is an increase of over 600% in 90 years. And these two types are the greatest killers in affluent nations. Other conditions of fatty degeneration like diabetes, multiple sclerosis, kidney and liver degeneration, and others have also increased dramatically in the past 90 years. So considering an ever-growing population from 1.6 billion 90 years ago to an estimated 7.7 billion in 2018, this statistic reveals a scary scenario and how profound such diseases and industrialization have had and will have on our population. Trans fats are also largely contributing to the rise of chronic diseases. These are produced under intense heat like pan frying or deep frying and by hydrogenation to make an oil more solid and therefore sprayable. At the molecular level, fatty acid change completely. Their configuration is altered, and like a saturated fatty acid, they become more straight, stiff, and stickier. They affect the body and many enzymatic functions because they take the spot of healthier fatty acids, and the body has to use what it is given. The cell's membrane function may be damaged, becoming more permeable, letting elements in and out of the cell. Trans fats quickly raise plasma cholesterol and triglycerides, which contributes to cardiovascular disease, and also damage arteries integrity by interfering with the production of prostaglandins. And it may also be involved in perpetuating inflammation, high blood pressure, poor arterial muscle tone, and kidney dysfunction, impacting on our well-being and vitality at the deepest level. Prostaglandins are a group of physiologically active lipid compounds called eicosanoids, which are made at the sites of tissue damage or infection that are involved in dealing with injury and illness. They also have diverse hormone-like effects, and the effect depends on the receptor where they attach. They can cause vasodilation, fevers, and recruit cells involved in allergic reactions. They are thus involved in inflammatory pathways and pain. So in this slide, I have included an illustration on the different layers that makes the skin. And on the right, we can see the production of vitamin D3 from sunlight exposure. So the first pathway is activated by UVB light reacting with 7-dehydrocholesterol upon sun exposure. This produces pre-vitamin D3, which rearranges its structure to form vitamin D3 or cholecalciferol. Cholecalciferol is converted to calcidiol in the liver. The kidney finally converts calcidiol to calcitriol, the active form of vitamin D, which is distributed via the main circulation. So the problem we can see in this slide is that to produce vitamin D, the body requires ample levels of cholesterol, which is a very concerning issue for people on statins or other lipid-lowering drugs. So now the problem is no longer a dietary problem, but a global concern. A systemic review and meta-analysis, which included 644 studies up to 2016, confirmed with that any doubt that treatment with statin is associated with a decrease in vitamin D concentrations in the body. This is an even more concerning problem in the aging groups due to the reduced exposure to sunlight, low dietary vitamin D intake, and reduced production of vitamin D via the skin. And also, of course, of the groups of population that have polymorphism on cells vitamin receptor sites. In Energize 30 Days to Vitality, I go into much detail to explain the risk associated with statins, the best-selling class of drugs in the world, and their inefficacy in reducing the risk of cardiovascular disease and mortality. So please visit our website to find the link to purchase and get your own copy. So perhaps looking at consuming healthier types of fats makes more sense to you now, as much as improving your resilience by implementing stretch management techniques in your day. So again, the body can only use what we give it. Every single cell membrane, including nerve cells of the brain and nerves throughout our body, but also our skin layers, are made of fat. And so our dietary source of fat will impact all of this. And if we think of the skin being made of more pro-inflammatory omega-6 fatty acids, in addition to a diet low in antioxidants, then this opens the door to inflammation and poorer integrity of the skin, especially against sunlight. Junk food is not innocent. and that, if we agree or not, is a health hazard. So here is an example. McDonald's chips are drenched with chemicals that have no place in our foods. Plus, they are not vegan friendly. They are not gluten-free, and they are not dairy-free. And that's only chips. So I don't think I want to know what's on the rest of the menu. Yes, indeed, this is the US recipe, but I will suspect that it will be the same here in the UK as a result of Brexit and intense lobbying very soon. A recipe for disaster. So I was surprised to see that the SAD diet, the standard American diet, is the root cause of all modern chronic diseases. Ultra-processed and void of natural nutrients and fiber, this type of food product cannot sustain our body and support our health and reduce our risk of cancer. This is not possible, not with this type of food. So it is very interesting. Please, I want to know what your day 6 and 7 usually are. Please do add your comments below, and let's share this with the world and see how it can be. So if we understand that skin cancer is relatively a new phenomenon, then what will be the cause that makes us more vulnerable to sunlight? Research is showing that our modern lifestyle and diet are the #1 causes of skin cancer, and that staying out of the sun is not at all the best protection against skin cancer. It could do more harm than good, and for every case of skin cancer eliminated by sun avoidance, there are 20 or more cases of prostate or breast cancer caused by sun avoidance and the ensuing lack of sun-induced vitamin D. And this, most scientists agree. A Mediterranean diet has been shown to decrease melanoma incidence and increase survival among population in non-Mediterranean countries. So for example, some American states and Australia. So by contrast, Australians of Greek ethnic background who consume the standard American or Australian diet, both known as SAD diet, have one of the highest rates of melanoma in the world. And Dr. Shapira explains, this suggests that the dietary benefits as well as the disadvantages of non-adherence to the diet may be geographically transferable. So this means it's not where you live, it's what you eat that keeps you healthy or lets you get sick. One of the stars of the Mediterranean diet includes first cold-pressed extra virgin olive oil. Olive oil, which is high in omega-9 and monounsaturated fatty acids. It helps slow signs of skin aging and protects against skin cancers. It also contains the antioxidants hydroxytyrosol and oleotein, which protects against UV-induced pro-cancerous activity. In addition to a nutrition-dense diet, this may explain why people living in the Mediterranean basin and eating a healthy diet and spending more time outdoors have the lowest cases of non-communicable diseases. The main food making the Mediterranean diet include fish, shellfish, a wide variety of vegetables, particularly carrots, tomato, and cruciferous vegetables, such as broccoli, cauliflower, cabbages, Brussels sprouts, kale, and many others. But also fruits, particularly citrus fruits, and then tea and a very low alcohol consumption. So it is also important to include the source. For example, organic versus non-organic. Conventional farming may not provide sufficient profiles, and supplements are shown to support a healthy, balanced diet and also protect against UV-related skin damage and skin cancer. In an experiment at the Baylor College of Medicine, 2 groups of rabbits were regularly exposed to ultraviolet light. One group was given a balanced diet, but no vitamin, while the other group was given the same diet with added vitamin C, vitamin A, and E. After nearly 6 months, none of the animals in the supplemented diet group had developed skin cancer, while 24% of the animals in the diet alone had developed skin cancer. So I will have to stress that vitamin B2 or riboflavin actually might make UV risk greater for skin cells unless vitamin C is supplemented together. So remember that not two supplements are the same, so always choose a trusted source for your supplements. And that is very important because when you look at supplements, you want to add to your diet, but your diet must be your priority first. So let's look at beta-carotene, which is found in the highest concentrations in yellow and orange vegetables like carrots, sweet potatoes, and pumpkins, and also in spinach, kale, and spring and collard greens. The latter also contains exceptionally high level of lutein. More sources include peas, Brussels sprout, courgettes, pistachios, and broccoli. Then let's look at lycopene, which is found in higher concentrations in cooked tomato products rather than in fresh tomato, and is also found in watermelon, pink guava, and papaya. Surprisingly, our favorite summer foods. Flavonoids and polyphenols are also nutrients supplied by the Mediterranean diet. These are found in green tea, black teas, coffee, citrus peel, grape seeds, and cocoa, and have been found specifically to protect against cancer formation induced by UVB radiation. Resveratrol, proanthocyanidin, and polyphenol, all found in red grapes, are been found to inhibit skin cancer induced by UVBs. And like citrus peel, flavonoids, and black tea, they work even better when they're used together. So these nutrients help conserve internally produced antioxidant enzymes and glutathione, a major antioxidant in the body, to prevent free radical damage and inhibit UV-induced cell death. Spices and herbs are nutrient powerhouses, but some herbs like rosemary, oregano, and thyme are extremely rich in polyphenols that protect against UV radiation. Garlic also belongs to this category. So when understanding the role of sunlight-activated vitamin D in support of our immunity, it begs the question, why were we forced to look ourselves indoors for the very first time in human history? To date, there is still no answer, but much polemic going on and many lies still to uncover. The UK government has also purposely ignored the tsunami of studies relating to vitamin D and vitamin C, demonstrating that we have to take our health into our hand and be wise about the sun like we do our food. So getting plenty of sunshine when the sun is at its lowest and not overexposing our skin during the brightest hours, which also include lunch breaks. So if you're going to the park to eat your lunch, then do it in a shade. You can get plenty of sunlight going from and to your place of work. So before we conclude, we need to talk about potential problems that can lead to skin cancer and many more concerning health disorders. So not only are we spending most of our lives indoors, but we are exposed to a multitude of ever-growing numbers of chemicals, pollutants, and toxicants that can make us more vulnerable and therefore damage our health. Chemicals found in cosmetics and personal care products can suppress our immunity. Many are considered endocrine disruptors, and they can lead to skin cancer and many more types of cancer. So here are only a few, and then on the next pages, just a few references more that I would like you to read. So in Detox Before Energize, and my upcoming book, I will expose the most toxic compounds to which we are exposed daily and give easy to implement solutions. To be updated with the release date, please visit our website, Nutrunity.com. You will have the link at the end of his presentation. So what can we take from this? Spend more time outdoors and benefit from sunlight-activated vitamin D, and consume a Mediterranean-style diet with plenty of fresh fruits and vegetables of as many different colors as possible. Include fatty fish, and keep your intake of caffeine and alcohol, and keep junk food to a minimum. If possible, avoid ultra-processed manufactured food products altogether. So, thank you so much for listening today. I hope you have found this talk to be very instructive. If you have any comments, please do comment below. And if you have any question, do the same and we will come back to you. If you feel that you really want to have straight away answer, then please do visit our website and use our contact link. Thank you very much.